Welcome to Real Inside Sales Talk with just Mark. Today we're going to talk about more on the robocalling and voicemail drop delivery systems. So in real estate and other jobs, let's just say customer service, insurance, loans, mortgage, anything outside of real estate, even car salesmen. Everyone wants a faster way to follow up with their clients, and no one wants to make 100 phone calls a day and leave a voicemail every time. So it's a lot more proactive for them to leave one voicemail and blast it out to 100 or 1,000 people. And today I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about my experience. I'll try to keep it short and sweet and direct to the point. There's three big programs that I have used in the past, and I'm sure this will grow. We've got Sly Broadcast, which is slybroadcast.com, SLYBROADCAST.com, slybroadcast.com. We have ringlessmessages.com, and again, that's ringlessmessages.com. And then we have what's called Paragon. And don't look up paragon.com. It will take you to an Unreal Engine gaming page. So check out paragonvoicemaildrop.com. That's paragonvoicemaildrop.com. And by the way, on Paragon, there is no do not call list or list import that will prevent you from calling people you don't want to call. So what I've noticed is the support gives the same generic BS, and they will tell you to retry your calls, retry. Don't bother, pay more for the better delivery with, in my opinion, either slybroadcast.com or ringlessmessages.com at this time, and I might be adding to that list. It's great for me in real estate because I can ethically reach out to people for just listed, just sold. I just listed a property. I'm going to call everyone within 2 or 3 blocks and say, hey, this property's for sale. If you want to pick your neighbor, call this person, or call me rather, and tell me you have someone in mind. And here's my information. Call, text me if I miss you. Make sure you leave a name and number so I can get right back to you. It's great on confirming appointments. Hey, just letting you know I'll be there at 1, 3, 5, 7 o'clock tonight. Look forward to talking with you about listing the sale of your house. It's good for past clients. Let's say it's November 1st, December 25th, any major holiday, Memorial Day, Labor Day. Hey, blank, 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 blank. I'm with blank, 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 blank. We helped you in the past. We just want to follow up. Hope you're doing well. Wish you a great blank, 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 blank. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything, or if you have anyone that has questions, feel free to refer them our way at blank, 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 blank. And, with insurance, loans, car salesmen, hey, I saw you on the lot here a while back. I wanted to reconnect with you, find out if you've already found a vehicle, or if you're just holding out till the perfect one arrives. What's your situation? With loans and real estate and mortgage, for example, one might say, hey, I noticed you might be renting right now. I wanted to find out if you're thinking about buying. Right now, we're helping with people with credit scores with 600 and above. If you're thinking about buying or selling some real estate here in the next 6 months, give us a call back at blank, 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 blank. And you can do it and just twist it so many different ways. And the way that you're bypassing the quote-unquote do not call list is you're not actually calling them. And I'll hit on that in just a second because there's a little star next to that, okay? So what happens is if you use these ringless messages systems, what it does is it makes the phone typically not ring, and there's a message delivered to their voicemail box. So it shows that they missed a call. So they call it, they listen to your message. If they're interested, they call back. If not, they delete it, whatever, okay? Now, the reason I put a star next to that is there are certain categories of phones, typically iPhone 7 and 8, which will automatically show a missed call no matter what. I went through extensive training in customer service and technical support through Sly Broadcast and Paragon Dialer to figure out if there's any way to fix this, and there's not. So, if you send out a Sly dial or a broadcast to someone's voicemail, expect a few people to call you back and say, hey, I saw I missed a call. I did not play your message. I just wanted to call you back and see what's up. So make sure you have their information accessible. Okay, so play that off well. Otherwise, it might get ugly. Now, the bad side for doing these mass blasts, like let's say I want to contact 3,000 people in one day to find out if any of them are selling or buying or investing in real estate within the next 6 months to a year. Well, the bad thing is they could take to social media, Google reviews, whatever. They could destroy you up on there. So be really careful. Think about that first and think about how you're going to combat that. You know, a lot of people will say something like, well, hey, I'm just a guy running a business. I'm sure you can appreciate me trying to make money rather than hold a sign at the corner next to your nearest Walmart, right? And then, you know, when it comes to these mass blasts, when you're purchasing data, you know, you're going to get bad phone data. 50% of the data that you get is probably going to be bull crap. Look out for potential fines and customer abuse. Make sure you look at your laws and regulations very, very, very attentive to detail depending on the state that you're in. I'm in Missouri, so I can mass blast and feel comfortable with doing it, but still, you know, I always worry about potential fines and customer verbal abuse online, so I want to make sure I keep my my guard up on that. The return on investment is about 50-50. What I've noticed is you find people that, you know, they might be 3 years away, they might be 3 months away, they just got a new job offer and they have to move on that and they got to get stuff done immediately. So, I mean, you're doing mass circle prospecting within just a few clicks. And what's going to happen is you might need anywhere between 1 and 3 people taking these calls back. If no one's there to take the calls, then they're just going to leave a whole bunch of voicemails and you're going to have a whole bunch of calls to return. So make sure you, hey, sorry I missed you. This is Mark over at ABC Real Estate. I was just dropping you a line because I wanted to find out if you're thinking about selling while the market's hot. We've had a lot of sales over in this area, so if you are even just contemplating selling or if you'd like a free estimate on your home, feel free to call or text me back at blank, 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 and if I miss you, leave a number. I promise I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Thank you again. Bye. And make sure you keep your messages under like 25 seconds, keep your messages under about 25 seconds if you can. Be careful about the neighborhoods and strategize. So let's say you're paying for 6,000 leads a month rather than 15,000. So, and I shouldn't say leads, I should say drops. So let's say you're paying for 6,000 drops a month rather than 15, 20, 50,000 drops. Okay. So you need to be able to quickly look up these people's phone numbers and you need to be able to identify them, right? So the best way to do it is import it into our CRM. But here's the catch. If you have too many people in your CRM, you're not going to be able to properly create the sales funnel that you're looking for. So what you need to do is have a second CRM to filter out all the bullshit. And pardon my language, but that's just really what it is. On the first CRM, you put everyone in there so you can quickly type in their name and number when they call back, search it, and be like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I was giving you a call about 123 ABC Street. Did you get my voicemail? They're going to say yes or no, and depending on what they say, you move forward with that conversation. And if they're like DNC me, wrong number, I already sold, I already have my house on the market with an agent, I sold that house 10 years ago, make sure you categorize these leads. I would recommend using Vulcan 7 and just creating folders with like inbound DNC, inbound wrong number, inbound already bought, inbound already sold, inbound already listed, inbound not interested, inbound follow-up in 6 months, etc. Okay, so make sure you can quickly look up these leads and follow up with them accordingly, and make sure that whenever you're importing these information or the client's information, if you're getting their email addresses, make sure you consider putting them on a drip campaign. There's a lot of times that many states will outlaw that depending on what state you're in. In my personal opinion, I've had failures in just adding random people to my database and putting them on drip campaigns, so I would not recommend it. In fact, I've had many people call me at many different times of the hour and say, unsubscribe me, how'd you get my email, and just going loose on me. So I don't recommend just taking a virtual phone book and technically uploading it to your drip campaign database, but I highly, highly recommend against it. It's probably not going to work out very well because, again, it's going to mess up your funnel too. Alright, so here's another thing too. When you're blasting out to, let's say, 300, 500, 1,000, 3,000 people a day, right? There's been times I've blasted out to 3,000 people and I've had no callbacks. Just crickets. Okay. Then there's been times I've blasted out to 300 people and my phone rang off the hook for days. I got appointments, I listed some houses, everything was great, right? So make sure you time and really research the areas that you're looking out into. If you're using Cole Realty, Exact Data, or the Redx Storm Dialer GeoLeads, which you can use to prospect. So again, there's 3 resources right there: Cole Realty, Exact Data, or the Redx, aka Vortex, aka Storm Dialer, aka GeoLeads. There's 3 places right there that you can pull from information from. I would recommend Cole Realty resource out of all of them. I haven't had much success out of Exact Data or the Redx, Vortex, Storm Dialer, GeoLeads. So, and that's with a couple years on and off with all tools. I've been on the real estate game for almost 3.5, 4 years now, depending on how you look at it. Alright, so back to the robocalling and the voicemail delivery system. Change it up. If you're not getting returns, like for example, I blasted out to 3,000 messages and I got nothing, I might want to consider using someone else in my office or another voice to leave a message and a different type of message to reach these people and get them to call back at a different number. Don't rely on it. Everything that you get from this service is icing on the cake. You want to make sure you still focus on your circle prospecting, your internet leads, your for sale by owners, and your expireds, your sphere of influence, your business to business growth. But everything that you get on top of this service is just icing on the cake. So don't rely on it, because it can be good, it can be bad. It depends on the market you're in and how the quality of the messages you're leaving is and how quickly you're able to respond. I've had calls at 3 a.m. I've had calls at 10 p.m., 10 a.m. I've had people that said, hey, I got your voicemail 8 months ago and I just never had the time to get back to you, but I'm thinking about selling my house. Can you come out and list it? That has really happened to me. And here's another thing. What happens if you call everyone 5, 10 times? And by everyone, you're taking everything from GeoLeads, Exact Data, and Cole, and you're just calling it all. You're hitting the slot machine, right? What do you do after 5 or 6 months and you're not getting the ROI that you expect? Well, that's exactly why I tell you to look at it as icing on the cake. Use it as more of a follow-up tool with past clients, just listed, just solds. Use it as leverage in your listing appointments. Another thing is update your lead database every 4 months. Merge duplicates, erase the BS. It's okay to take 1 day out of every 2 weeks and go through and just clean the database, because if you're constantly just filtering through BS, you're taking up too much time, and eventually you're wasting time. So clean up that database every 14 days, really. And answer your phone and call everyone back. There's sometimes that people will call you and you can't answer the phone immediately because you're on the phone with another client. You sent out so many calls, people are just calling back in waves. It's just going crazy. Send them a text. Hey, I promise I will call you right back. I had another incoming call as soon as I called you. Call everyone back. Tell them why you called them. Look up their information prior to calling them back. Say, hey, yeah, I was giving you a call about ABC 123 Street, or hey, I was giving you a call to confirm our appointment at 3 o'clock. Hey, I was just calling because I wanted to reconnect with you. I haven't seen you on the car lot in a while. Or hey, I wanted to reach out to you because I saw that you were looking in for information on loans or buying a house, and I wanted to find out if you're just curious or if you're really serious about buying a house. I might be able to help you. There's a lot of different things. Hell, schools use it. Hey, there's a snow day. Everyone's getting robocalled in mass text. Okay, if there is an emergency at a school or a function nearby, everyone's getting a mass text and a text message. So try to find ways to make it ethical. There's a lot of people that frown upon salesmen that work the gray area on the non-ethical, ethical lines. If you're just kind of spin it as in you're just a guy trying to make a buck and not live off the government, it tends to work pretty well. I know that sounds terrible, but that's just the honest truth. And make sure you set appointments. If you're doing it and you're not setting appointments for lead generation purposes or even for follow-up, then you might be screwing up. So even if you have to just pop by and look at the house a year later after they've decorated it, set time to do that. You know, people take a lot of pride in having their agent come back a year, 2, 5 years later and see what they've done with the house and be like, wow, 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 that's so good. You know, you're connecting with people that you've helped to make a big decision in their life, and so you want to continue doing that. Anyway, this has been Mark with Real Inside Sales Talk. You can catch me at facebook.com/ISA Talk or www.realinsidesalestalk.com. I have so much more I can add about robocalling and voicemail delivery systems. You know, calling that customer that you really hate talking to, but you got to tell them some really important information. Well, type in their number, record a voicemail, and blast it out, and they've got a missed voicemail. They got to hear everything and not talk to you at all. So, you know, I get it from the sales standpoint, from the customer service standpoint. There's lots of proper and improper ways to use it. Look for Mark and Jason at YouTube at realinsidesalestalk.com. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and again, facebook.com/ISA Talk. This is Mark signing out. Y'all have a good night. Thank you again for listening to Real Inside Sales Talk.